Thank you for watching Studio 7 from the Permian Basin Chevy dealers.
So let's get things started today with one of our favorite people. Shanti Terry is here, our DIY expert. We're talking about a technique. I actually saw your before and after on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I messaged you and said, let's do that on the show. You're like, oh, we are.
I was like, we are doing that. We're going to do that very soon. Yeah, we did a technique called a German smear on a client's fireplace and an entire brick wall in her home.
German smear.
Yes. It's like a mortar wash, but we didn't actually use mortar. We used a compound texture paste to mimic the look of it. So it was a faux finish of a German smear.
Okay, so Shanti invited us along to capture the process. Let's start with this. A lot of us have these fireplaces.
Yes,
we want to do something different. How do you prep? Is there prep work that goes into the brick?
Yes, the first thing that we did was just to get it clean. And I like all natural things, so we just use some vinegar and water in our spray bottles with rags and sponges and scrub brushes. Go in, kind of scrub it up, and then you can spray it down again with water. Get the excess off, and then you just need to let it dry.
Okay.
And you can start taping. You want to put down tarps.
Okay.
And
tarps
cover
and
anything.
tapes. Okay.
Cover anything that you don't want damaged.
So and that cleaning process is super important, I'm assuming.
Yes, you just want to get all the dust off of the brick, and
I mean, if you had fires there, you've got
stain,
soot.
You've got soot and dust. Yeah.
Okay.
All of that stuff needs to get off.
And then what's next?
Next step is going to be going in with your compound paste. This is called Presto Patch. You can get it from the local hardware stores, and this is made for stone and masonry.
Okay.
It's usually used for like filling gaps and things like that, but we used it in our faux styling. So what we did was we actually filled sandwich bags like you pipe icing on a cake. We filled them up, and then we would twist the top and squish it down to the bottom where there's a corner. You can snip that off and actually start going in between the lines on the brick. All the mortar lines in the brick is what you're aiming for.
So every single line, you're just going to follow the pattern of your brick and fill that in.
Right, you're looking to fill in that. We were wanting to brighten up her space. If you didn't want to do that, you could apply it in a different way, but for this particular look, we wanted to brighten up the whole area.
Okay.
So we were covering all the gray mortar lines.
And it comes out white. The color
yes, this comes
is
out
this.
bright. It's a bright, vivid white, which you'll want to seal it is why. But after we put this over the mortar lines, we went ahead and went in with our scrapers.
Okay.
And just kind of spread it. Spread it around. You can drag it this way and that. You might go in with a different size.
Okay.
Just get it the way that you like. You want to cover some of the brick. You don't want to cover all of the brick, but cover as much as you like, because if anything happens once it dries, you can go back in with your scraper, probably the smaller size one, and a wire brush.
Okay, and remove some of the...
chip off some and scrub bits off.
Okay.
Step back periodically and take a look at what you're doing and make sure that you've got as much brick as you want exposed.
Because the idea is for an end result that looks like this has a history.
Yes,
it's aged.
It's to age it a little bit and give it some more character. The brick before, for this particular client, it was kind of a pinkish hue, pinkish brown. It didn't really add any interest to the room, so we were wanting to completely liven up the space and give it some character and make it look like maybe it's a bit older.
Yeah.
And so
mission accomplished.
Yeah, thank you.
It changed the entire look. Okay, so you've gone back in, you've put it on, you've taken off where you want it off. You want some spaces that look pretty filled in, and then some look kind of chipped off is kind of the way I would describe it.
You could do it however you wanted. If you wanted to do like a large section too, completely covered, and then just have like bits of it, it's totally a personal style preference.
Okay.
You can just step back and keep adding more as you like and take off more as you like.
Okay.
And then once everything is done, then you've got to seal it. Well, you don't have to. I've heard that people don't seal it, but I wanted to seal it.
Okay.
Because I know the fireplace can get messy when you're like making your fires and things are popping out, the wood and the dust and chips.
Little
soot,
fingers.
Little kids, fingers. And this waterproofs and seals it up so that you can actually wipe it down and clean it. We did sand this. This is sandable. We did sand it with a sanding sponge and a medium grit before we sealed it up, just to give it a smooth touch, because once you put this on over the texture of the brick, it's not as smooth as you might like to run your hands over.
I see, okay.
But you can totally fix that with a sanding sponge and just go over the entire surface. Then you can vacuum it off and then apply your sealer.
And is that with a paintbrush, the sealer?
Yes.
Okay.
We did it two ways. We did it with a paintbrush for one of the coats because I wanted to make sure that I was physically looking at it, like really getting in there.
Yes.
And then the other thing we did was use a sprayer, like your pump sprayer.
Okay.
You can just pump it up and kind of blast it over the wall as well.
This is a great finish. So we say this every time that Shanti is here. This is a DIY on how to do it yourself. And if you are one of those people like me who's never going to do it, you can also contact Shanti. We have all of her information on our Facebook page where you can connect with her and get her to come over and help you with the project as well.
Right, I'd be happy to help you.
Yes, it is a transformation. It looked really cool in this house.
Thank you. We had so much fun.
A lot of people have this exact scenario.
Yeah.
This was, I don't know how easy it was, easy for you, but an inexpensive way to really give it a new life.
It's not terribly expensive, and it's something that you can do yourself. If you don't, I can help you, but you could totally do this.
Yeah.
You guys can do this. You can do it.
You can do it. It looks cool. Shanti, thanks very much.
Thank you.